again and welcome to Fire When Ready for Emotionally14.com. I'm your host as always, Brad Harmer Barnes, and I'm joined by my constant compatriot,
Ian Harmer.
And it's been a few weeks since we recorded,
yes.
And it seems like they've waited for us to take a break to announce all of the news.
Yeah, I'm sure they're watching us.
Yeah, they must be. It's like they've taken a week off. We better just dump everything out that we
make them look stupid.
Yeah. Obviously we had GenCon, which was just awash with announcements, really.
They just picked their moment there.
It's really reassuring that they are planning ahead with this, and they do have so many forces and expansions planned.
There's obviously it's all marked in, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I heard an interview with the designers, and they said regardless of what happens, they are essentially working a year ahead of release.
Yeah.
So what they're playtesting now will be out in a year.
Yeah.
So they've got a year's worth of stuff planned when they launched the game.
So when they launched it, they were going to be behind it for a year.
They knew it. But it seems to be taking off. It seemed like Legion was a lot of people kind of slow to adopt it, and I think a little bit of sticker shock maybe. And also it was the first time Fantasy Flight had done a miniature system like this. All of our other miniatures have been pre-painted.
Yes, that's true.
Room Wars never really took off, and this obviously the Star Wars license generates a bit more attention. But I'm starting to see more people pick up the sets. I'm starting to see adverts for more organised play tournaments kicking up as well.
Yes.
So it's kind of starting to gather momentum, I think.
Yeah, so raising the interest generally within the shops.
Which is great. Then something like Armada, love Armada, but it's been 12 months since the last expansion for it, and a lot of people, until GenCon, had assumed it was a dead system.
Whether it's sidelined it for this sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah, because Imperial Assault and X-Wings always kind of kept churning out, and Armada was just always kind of being the big dopey cousin, unfortunately. But yeah, we've got, if I pull my Apple data pad, other brands are available, but why would you? If we talk about some of the stuff that's been announced since we last recorded, well, the big bad himself, Emperor Palpatine's coming out for Star Wars Legion. Yes, he's a major player in 4 of the films. 5 because he's an Empire technically.
Vader's nails, what's they going to be like?
Okay. It's a weird one to pick for me because I never really. He's almost like he squirrels himself away after he dissolves the Senate, and so to have him leading troops on the battlefield seems a little bit strange.
Yes, he wouldn't really be there with the troops.
No, but what if we are both story-driven gamers? We like thematic stories and we make up stories as we're playing. It could be fun to have the Emperor's on this planet for a diplomatic mission and the rebels are trying to assassinate him.
Yeah, down shuttle.
Yeah, there's loads of ways you could.
Yeah.
And don't forget, in the standard 800-point build, you can have 2 commanders. So there'd be nothing to stop you having Vader and Palpatine in the same force.
True. Yeah, true.
I mean, I don't know how many support troops you get with them, but a couple of stormtroopers and maybe a speeder bike, but you wouldn't
get much else, would you?
No. I'm hoping he's a fair few points for it. And he comes with the Royal Guards, which is something that bugs me because there should be Imperial Guards. Now they are a separate box set. I think he's going to get a commander box like the Vias box, and the Leia and the Han box, and I think they're going to be like a 7-man unit like all the other squads have been. We don't see them do a lot in the movies.
We assumed they were kind of odd trained guys.
I mean, the only thing we had to really see happen to them is Yoda knocks 2 of them out.
Yeah, these are the red dudes. They
don't do a lot, but I think they are very much like the Queen's Guard, like the Swiss Guard. They may look a bit ridiculous, but they are perfectly capable of tearing you a new one if they have to.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you've played Imperial Assault. They kick serious amounts of ass in that. They are really hard in Imperial Assault.
Yeah. So the Wookiee.
That was the way your group solved most problems, which is hide behind the Wookiee. So there's been a couple of previews as well. There's been the Rebel Commandos who have the sniper ability, so you get a sniper with them, and you also get an engineer who can do demolitions.
Right, so he's covert and that sort of thing,
That's spicing things up a bit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's setting charges and mines, I don't know.
But it's great, it's not just guys with blasters going pew 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 everywhere.
Yeah.
We've got more scope for stories to tell, we've got more things we can do, and more variety of units.
It does change the scenarios, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, the ability to have support troops is really handy. And of course, the other two major announcements was the Wookiees are joining the fight. Not only are
Very exciting.
Not only are we getting Chewbacca as a hero, as he's not a commander. It's the other one that will come back to be an operative. Is Chewie.
Yeah.
We're also getting a squad of Wookiee warriors as well in
Which
full
should be quite
Kashyyyk.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. On a side note about the Battle of Kashyyyk. When I was doing the Talk Star Wars podcast a couple of weeks ago, something that came up to me. Do you know, on the Battle of Kashyyyk, there are two Wookiees who just saw Yoda jump up and decapitate two clone troopers without any explanation whatsoever?
They just went, okay.
Yeah, they just saw Yoda just turn and killed, because nothing happened, he preempted them.
Yeah.
And they just, did he just...
Did he just...
We should probably do what he says.
Just keep away from the little dude.
Yeah. What I like about that is the only real melee guys we've seen so far are Luke and Vader.
Yeah, and obviously they will add the bowcasters, I presume.
Yeah, but we're going to see Wookiees tearing people's arms off.
Yeah, but it also opens up another avenue for Wookiee vehicles. And,
oh yes,
so they were quite
they've got
interesting.
Like the almost like gyrocopters.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's possible that might be another year down.
It may be. That's a lovely app if they go down that road.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Something I was listening to another podcast and something someone picked up on. Obviously, we have the recent rules update as well, and there's a clause which references tracked vehicles. No tracked vehicles were announced
yet,
but the rulebook has a reference to tracked vehicles.
So you think in the tank or...
Imperial Assault has the grav tank.
Yes,
but that's not tracked. That's a...
Looks like it's tracked,
yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Is it a Jawa sandcrawler?
Well, there you go. That would... yeah.
That's going to be huge. 35
this is the Wookiee...
Yeah, well, they have that kind of stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something just picked up on that the rulebook had a reference to. Yeah. What's interesting is there's a lot of stuff in the new rules update which is obviously for Boba Fett, and we haven't seen Boba Fett's card yet.
Yeah, so, I mean, the Jawa vehicle would be huge.
Yeah. Also, not really a military vehicle either.
No, but a target. Yeah.
So that's been the official news from Fantasy Flight's website so far. It's also worth noting there's a couple more things have turned up from GenCon, which is at GenCon they also previewed in a little glass case Rebel specialists and Imperial specialists. And those look like to be kind of along the same lines as those Rebel specialists, not specialists, whatever I call them, commandos I just mentioned. But they look like they fight as individual characters.
Okay,
one-man squads,
so like
or you can add one of them to an existing squad.
So it could be an engineer, or
you could have an operative running with.
Yeah.
So, what I found really interesting about the Rebel specialist set was all of the characters are obviously characters that were previously used in Imperial Assault.
Right.
The original playable characters that the PCs used in Imperial Assault, 4 of them are now in Legion. Okay. Now, does that mean they're considering doing a Legion Imperial Assault crossover? Or are Fantasy Flight reappropriating the characters? Because obviously you get the same...
The models would cross over, wouldn't
you
they?
You get the sort of, but I think they're just slightly larger scale. But are they just trying to build a shared universe? Like you get the same characters turn up in Elder Sign, Arkham Horror, Mansions of Madness.
Yes, they've got those core characters.
Yeah. Is that what they're planning to do? They're kind of build a Star Wars characters of their own creation they can sneak in.
Yeah.
But they don't look like the same sculpt, so it's not like they've just exploded.
So we might get boffins and
I think we will. We definitely got a medical droid as one of them, and so the Imperials all look like original characters because you don't tend to get Imperial player characters in Imperial Assault. But I thought that was really interesting. We did get more individual characters.
We may get the gun, the on the suspensor.
Oh, it's almost like a tarantula. E-web blaster.
E-web blaster. But it's basically a tarantula.
We're getting some artillery was previously announced before our last episode, so we're definitely getting some big guns.
Yeah, we're getting the turret guns.
Yeah, artillery is a generous term, but big guns are coming.
Yeah.
The other news wasn't even on GenCon. This was only been on Fantasy Flight's Twitter feed. Is a confirmation that both X-Wing and Legion are going to be getting Clone Wars sets in 2019.
Okay, so we're going to get another probably starter box or something.
Possibly. I mean, if they do it like they did for the X-Wing for the sequel trilogy, they made them fully compatible and just brought out a new set that had the T-70 X-Wing and the advanced TIE fighters.
Yeah.
I think they did redo the Falcon with Rey, Chewie and Han as characters in it as well.
Yeah, so you're going to get speeders and...
How do we feel about that? How do we feel about a concurrent version of Legion with Clone Wars?
I'm only just getting me head around the new releases, really. Because it's really
it's been a dump this week.
Yeah, I mean, the games we've played so far, we're looking like larger skirmishes, really.
Yeah.
And the stuff that's in the pipe is going to change the board.
Yeah.
I know you still got the points thing, but you're still going to have more heavier fights going on.
Which would be,
I mean, it's great.
You can always do, there is the Grand Army mode playing at 1600 points.
Yeah.
But that's not the sort of thing you do every week, I don't think.
No, that's right.
That's a convention game or 2 or 3 times a year.
So, I mean, it's nice that they're going to go into the Rebels thing.
Yeah.
So,
it's good.
we'll have to finish Series 4.
I wasn't excited about a Clone Wars set until I mentally pictured a General Grievous miniature on the table.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I've got to play that.
Whose job is that?
That
It was like Ventress and obviously we can have
Ventress and that sort of thing.
Cad Bane. There's all sort of great.
They've obviously got other things lined up for this.
Yeah, I think it's off Disney's back because obviously Disney announced on their streaming service they're doing 12 new episodes of the Clone Wars to finish off the ones that have been storyboarded but not finished. Which is the Mandalorian arc with Ahsoka coming back into the story. Which we're all very excited about. Then to get a full Clone Wars set as well. My guess is that they will make the Clone Wars and the current set fully compatible with the current set, so that for tournaments you might end up with Confederacy versus Empire. Or Republic versus Rebels. But for purposes of a convention game or a tournament, people will oversee that. It would be no worse than having good guys versus good guys in a HeroClix game.
Yes. Sure.
Yeah. But at the same time, there would be nothing to stop you or your friends just saying, "Oh, we'll just do Galactic Civil War this time," or "We'll just do Clone Wars this time."
Yeah.
It would be as easy as me saying to you, "Next time we play HeroClix, let's just use DC."
And obviously you could have Ahsoka fighting Darth Vader, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So it's just got.
Yeah, we can bleed characters into like the Rebels era.
That's right.
So we're in favour of Clone Wars, I think.
Yes.
And as a separate set or to mix and match. Let us know what you'd like to see us do with it. The other announcement, first of all, we've kind of got to do an announcement for us, and then we've got to do the big announcement. Now, when we mean big. You guys have really taken to this show. We've had a few messages asking if we're just going to focus on Legion, which was the original
that was
pitch.
the original thought,
We've taken on board, we've had a chat with the Emotionally 14 team, and going forward we are not just going to be covering Legion, we are also going to be focusing on Star Wars Armada, the epic scale spacecraft combat. And if we get, I don't know if there's any expansions planned for it, but we'll happily do Let's Plays and stuff for Star Wars Rebellion as well, which is the grand strategic scale board game. So
we're going to go
we're listening. We're listening to you guys. A couple of as far as X-Wing and Destiny Imperial Assault goes, there's a real load of great news sources out there of people who know X-Wing inside out. And to be honest, I haven't played X-Wing for several years.
It's got quite a strong following,
so for now, we're going to focus on the larger scale stuff. You're going to see us doing Legion. You're going to see us doing Armada. You're going to see us doing Rebellion. Who knows what's going to happen with us a year down the line?
That's true.
For now, our focus is going to be the grand strategic stuff because we like the firepower.
And more zoomed out, more strategy.
And you want to play the Star Destroyers, don't you?
I've heard of it. I don't know how it's going to work.
He texted me saying, "Have you got lots of Armada stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got one of everything." And before you know it, to preempt your next question, 5. And of course, that then brings us on to the big news, which like I said, it's been a year since we've had any news of the Star Wars Armada expansion. And then they finally announced they're doing the one thing we weren't ever expecting them to do, which is the Executor class Star Dreadnought, Darth Vader's Executor, the Super Star Destroyer,
I think
is coming to Armada next year.
Yeah, I think
Quarter 1, 2019.
People just thought that would never happen because of the sheer girth of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, they have certainly shrunk it down because and they have said from the start Armada is not true scale.
No,
it's representative scale. So they broke the ships down into different size classes. So you would have small ships and large ships, medium ships. And that was kind of all within a weight band, or almost. They're relative to each other. Fine, that's what makes it work on the tabletop. I did crunch the numbers. If they were going to make the Executor in scale with their Star Destroyer model, it would have to be 7'7". And bearing in mind the playmat is 6'3".
They will be flying it off the table.
No, if they do it like 5 foot, that'll work. And then I heard rumours of 38 inches.
Yeah.
It sounds like the final reports I'm hearing is it's just over 2 foot long, which is they have shrunk it down considerably, but that also, think about that, does make it playable. And also, really,
it can turn.
A ship that size against stuff like a Star Destroyer, even, is going to be impractical. So it's going to have reduced firing arcs. It's going to be limited in what it can do against those sized vessels.
Sure.
So shrinking it down makes sense from a gameplay point of view. It would be like we couldn't ever do the Death Star in scale. No. But you could make
a section of it.
You got it. You could just have gun turrets and stuff, and that would work. So I think they've been quite clever. And
so it's just about the 2 foot.
Just over 2 foot, yeah.
Okay, that is.
It's quite hinged. It will still be the biggest model.
It will be the firepower of more than
the
96 Star Destroyers.
Just to prepare yourselves until you get saved up for Fast Christmas, the price we've seen quoted in the UK is £185.
I'm sure the detail's going to be great though.
I'm sure. I want it lit up for that. We're incredibly excited about that, especially as you're going to start seeing
the pictures look really great.
It's and it was one of those I always kind of wanted, but I kind of resigned myself to the fact we probably wouldn't ever going to get.
Unless they're custom made, they're not going to make anything.
But you know, now the sky's the limit.
And it sounds like it's not a scenario piece. It is actually.
That has now been confirmed. It is not a scenario piece like the giant, like the colossal ships for X-wing.
Sure.
It's game playable.
Yeah.
And a standard build for Armada is 400. And apparently the lowest you can take it at is 225. It's like a prototype Superstar Destroyer. I'm wondering if they are going to epic scale it, and one of them will be more than 400 points for the total build.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what else in the kind of books. I don't know if you get squadrons. Palpatine has been confirmed as a playable character. He's going to be in the box. Right. And the rumour that won't go away is Krennic as well.
Oh, nice.
And we're all big fans of Krennic.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so if it's a prototype, that kind of makes sense as well. Yeah. Timeline wise.
So it's we're all quite excited about that. Yeah, it's been big news. So loads of Star Wars.
Never ending.
Well, it's where was this stuff when we were kids? When you were 20.
That's right.
Where was this stuff? But we're happy it's here now. At a time when we can make a show for you lovely guys as well.
Can't wait for one to turn up.
Yeah. Look at hyperspace. But that's a long way away yet, so that's not until at least Q1 2019. We've got lots of gaming to get done before we even see the shadow of the Executor turning up. But what does make me wonder is if we're finally going to get the Executor for Armada, is that testing the market for the AT-AT in Legion? Because a lot of people want an AT-AT.
But they can't think of the scale, so it's going to be big. It's going to be very big.
It's going to be really big, or just a foot.
Yeah.
Well, if not, I mean, there's nothing really. What else could you? A Rancor, maybe. He'd be comparable to the ATST, maybe a little bit shorter actually.
Yeah, the Rancor was huge again.
Yeah. I mean, the Rancor they did do for Imperial Assault, and I think he's a bit short in the ATST, but he kind of got his arms wide, so he looks bigger than he is. But anyway, we've got something to do today anyway.
We do.
Because it's time for an unboxing.
Press this button.
Press the button, we'll bring this on the Star Wars Legion conveyor belt, which we borrowed from Rick Fury. And we have
shiny box.
The Star Wars Legion Priority Supplies box.
What do you think we get?
I think, well, it says there's 12 models in there, and it looks all just like custom Star Wars-y type terrain.
Yes, it's evaporators only.
It looks like crates and computer consoles and stuff as well,
crates,
which is great.
Antenna,
it's great because it's very easy to get woodland terrain. It's very easy to get desert terrain. Actual Star Wars terrain is hard to find. And these guys are going to make it much better than I could ever kind of sculpt.
And I have seen some 3D printed stuff, but it's very brittle.
That's the trouble with 3D printing is it can be.
So this should be a bit more robust. Although quite fine, I would say.
So I think we should get the Stanley lightsaber out, crack this open, and have a look at what we've got inside.
We've got a few cards as well.
Ooh, let's see what we've got. Okay, I suppose we better see what we've got on the Priority Supplies Battlefield expansion. So we've got no expectations of this other than some nice terrain.
The picture in the back looks nice.
Yeah. We have a little flyer in here. Assembly instructions. Wolven was anticipating. All new rules.
What the changes?
Section of brief section of new rules introduced to priority explosives. These may have been added to the rules reference already, which is they've added rules for detonate, sabotage, repair, and scout. Just kind of our initial impressions.
Some bases.
Standard base sizes. They look like standard infantry, don't they? What you got for us?
Packing cases.
Okay. Yeah. Nicely weathered as well.
Yes.
And some Star Warsy looking crates. Actually look kind of like the ones from Imperial Assault.
Yeah. Square ones as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
got a lid to that one.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice idea. Because we can keep things in it. And a bit of a moisture evaporator. Detail's pretty good. Certainly better than I
say it does look a bit more robust than some of the other ones I've seen.
Yeah.
So you get like 2 of those.
Okay. Yeah. I mean the assembly looks relatively simple. It's just all plug in by the look of it. Oh, sorry, you're trying to come into shot, aren't you? A bit more.
It looks like that's the angled bit by the looks of it.
Yeah, so detonate lets you blow them up, basically, to the surprise of no one. Scout X is interesting. After a unit of Scout X deploys, it may perform a standard move up to speed X, regardless of its maximum speed, so you get a free move before the game starts.
Okay. We've got quite a lot of components here.
Yeah. That's good. I had heard they were planning on kind of advancing the assembly as they went along, so as you got more models and got more experience, the models might start getting more complex.
Okay. But the detail is good. Yeah. I mean, he's got a little face.
Everything Star Wars does. Okay. Yeah, so it's just moisture evaporators. I wonder what tool they're going to stand. They're going to be...
Oh, when they're on the base.
That, maybe? Yeah. It's of no use to people looking through a camera because you've got no sense of scale of that shot.
And
I've got one of each as well. So we have a new battlefield condition. I do mean battlefield because we now have rules for minefields. Just all place condition tokens on the battlefield until all tokens are in place. After a non-repulsed unit performs a move, it is range 1, roll a blocked result, it takes a hit from a minefield, so we can have minefields scattered around the battlefield now. We have a brand new scenario thrown into the mix, which is sabotage for moisture evaporators.
So they become a target?
Yeah, so you've got to try and take those out. And a brand new deployment, that's an unusual one.
Okay.
It's brand new.
So that's... You wouldn't going to get that in the core set.
So. Oh, and during the deploy intercept, each unit gets Scout 1. So after you deploy, every infantry troop gets a 3-speed 1 move, and then the game starts. Interesting.
So they can advance up.
Yeah, even if they're normally stationary, which I imagine is going to be stuff like the heavy weapons we mentioned earlier.
Yes. Yeah.
So not only is it actually quite a lot of terrain for your money.
Yeah, you've got like 3 com stations.
Yeah, they're nicely rogue one.
Yeah, and you've got 2 moisture evaporators.
Loads of supply crates. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that they're suggesting that you base the crates as well.
Yes, good idea. Especially if they're going to be used for objectives, you're going to want precise measurements too.
Yes, that's a good idea.
You know, that's close enough.
Yeah,
that's a really good. I'm glad they're all based.
Yeah,
because I was worried I was going to have to make some.
They're going to stand. About 2.5 times taller than
I think so. I'm thinking
than a standard unit. I think
how big they are on the Lars family and on Tatooine. That sounds about right.
Yeah, they are quite a tall thing. Yeah, on a base as well.
I love they've actually bothered to put like controls on there as well. That's really. I'm quite impressed by that. Are you? Very nice.
Actually.
All right, guys.
It's more than just a few kind of.
It's a small box
targets,
but loads of stuff in there, and I really like that they've chucked in because I wondered if we saw more command cards.
Yes, but not actually.
But I'm glad that because one of the things I love about Imperial Assault is just the sheer number of missions available for Imperial Assault. I don't think you'd ever, unless you conversely sat on a pad and worked them out, you're very unlikely to see every level for Imperial Assault.
Yes,
because of how many there are and how they play out. So I like that they're going to give that same sort of support to Legion as well.
Yeah,
awesome.
There's a little carrot that says like, well, do I need the supplies when you obviously get cards? And obviously you do. Yeah,
it's a bit more of an incentive, isn't it?
It brings you away from buying from third parties.
Yes, which is good. Awesome. Well, join us in a second for the wrap up. And we're back. That was a relatively quick unboxing compared to a Hero.
Some of the ones we have, yes.
Yeah. What do we think?
I think it's a great little set. The details are good and it doesn't look flimsy, so I think it's going to survive quite well.
It's decent hard plastic. We'll put it this way, they can chuck it in just those Ziploc bags in that box and not worry about stuff snapping on or breaking.
Yeah.
So I bought 3D printed terrain before of almost like a voice operator, and by the time I got it home from convention, it just shattered to powder.
And you could do nothing with it.
Oh, it wasn't fixable, unfortunately. No. I am being professional, I'm just looking up how much these are going for.
Yeah, it's good that as it was mentioned while I was unboxing the bases, they're suggesting basing even like the cartons. I think it's good. So.
Yes, absolutely. What I really like is the addition of the cards as well.
And that's the little carrot, isn't it? It'll be a bit earlier. So,
I think the detail sculpts is great, and they look relatively easy to put together as well. I will paint them as quick as I can. I'm working on a second core set at the moment.
Second core set.
Yeah. It was us. I really like minefields. I think they're going to be fun.
Yes, and nice to rather than just being terrain, they've become a target as well.
Same for a whole scenario about blowing up moisture evaporators. It's just it's not. They could have just called it sabotage, but they've thrown that extra little bit of chrome in there. It's sabotage for moisture evaporators.
Yes, it's targeting them. Yeah.
So, do we recommend this to players of Legion?
Yeah, do we know sort of a rough retail price?
But most retailers are in between the £15 and £20 mark.
Oh, that's good.
It's good.
Yeah, that's very good. I think it's definitely recommend. And certainly these fellas are worth going for as well.
You wouldn't get. I mean, I'm in no way knocking third-party Star Wars terrain because, firstly, it's always going to be out there. People are going to be making it,
and it keeps these guys on their toes.
It does. Yeah. And there's some artists are making some really lovely stuff as well. But it is great that Fantasy Flight haven't just gone, "I'll make your own terrain." They are supporting.
Yes,
they're aware. They're not going to be making trees and bunkers and lakes and generic wargaming terrain. But it's good they're holding up the Star Wars end of the terrain.
Yes.
Yeah. They are bothering to make Star Wars stuff to make your games look more Star Warsy, which is what you want. Like I say, I think the missions are superb. It looks really interesting layout. The battlefield condition looks great, and let's say that scenario, it's just that little bit of thought has gone a long way.
And as I say, I think that's a good commercial price as well.
As I was saying, third party stuff is great. You won't get that amount of stuff for that price tag from a third party.
No, you won't.
No, it's just not practical. But so this is a double thumbs up from me.
Definitely.
So if you play Legion, you're going to want this for the £15 on its own would not be £15 for these is not enough. No. But they are a lovely bonus on top of what is absolutely 15-20 quid worth of terrain.
Yes, definitely.
That's why I'm looking at it. So if you play Legion and you want some Star Wars looking terrain, and you might as well get the extra bits thrown in. Absolutely, this is an essential purchase for me.
Yes, great.
I think it's superb.
Get them painted.
I'll get them painted. Working on a second core. I'm probably going to have to do the executor at some point. Thanks again for watching. We are Fire When Ready, which was previously dedicated towards Star Wars Legion, but is now Star Wars Epic Combat on the tabletop. If you want to keep up with what we're doing here, keep your browsers pointed to emotionally14.com, where there's all sorts of tabletop news, there's all sorts of comedy stuff, there's all sorts of video games, comics, books, podcasts, movies. Loads of geek culture stuff over there. We're very proud to be a part of them as well. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, you can find me on facebook.com/BradHarmerBarnes, or you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @RealBradHB. Ian, where can people find you?
On Instagram on HeroClix UK. Not only just doing HeroClix. That's what obviously it will be sort of
it's
some
tabletop
shots of
gaming.
It's gaming and some other odd stuff. Really.
Odd stuff. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, thanks very much. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope you like the look of this Priority Supplies expansion. Because we're in favour of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you like to see more of this sort of stuff down the line?
Yes. There is.
Do you want a shield generator bunker?
A shield. You don't mean a shield generator? Because that'd be huge.
No, but like the bunker from Battle of Endor.
Yeah, something like that would be good.
Make it look Star Warsy. Crash TIE fighter.
But they're not, as you said, they're not going to just flood you with terrain.
No, they are aware people are going to be doing their own stuff as well. But I think this is a good balance. So 1 or 2 of these a year, maybe.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and
An attack leg.
Attack leg. Yeah.
Attack leg.
1-to-1 scale. Okay, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again. Well,
very soon.
We've upped our production schedule.
Yes,
so we'll see you very
us
soon.
again. Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers, bye.